Hi, my name is Stephanie Miller and I'm your new Sendix Floral Manager. I've been working at Sendix for the past 4 years as a part-time employee, just like all you guys. And I wanted to bring you guys all together today so we can get on the same page as far as floral designing goes. So today I'm going to train your minds to think about appropriate color combinations when you guys are arranging flowers. I'm going to start this presentation off with a true story that happened while I was working here at Sendix. Although the story doesn't really directly involve me, but it's relevant to what I have to talk about today. So a few years ago there was a new girl. She had been working here for about, I would say like a month and a half, and she was working a night shift by herself, and a customer came in around 4 o'clock asking for a bright, pretty arrangement for $30. So she said, okay, you can pick it up in an hour. So she decides to put it together herself with the little design experience that she had. And the customer comes back and picks it up with no complaints and walks out the door. The next day, there was a mandatory floral manager meeting. So all the managers from all 9 of the stores got together. And this guy who ordered the arrangement was a secret shopper for Sendix and went to all the other stores and ordered an arrangement to see what he would get for $30. So he comes to the meeting and he puts down all the arrangements in front of every manager. They all looked beautiful except for the one from our store. So my manager ended up getting in trouble for it, for not properly teaching her employees how to handle a situation like that, because what she should have really done is gone in the cooler and picked out an arrangement that was already made to give to this guy, because she really didn't know what she was doing, and she ended up getting in trouble. So we want to avoid something like this in happening. So first I'm going to go over 4 different color schemes that I want you guys to consider before putting together an arrangement. Then I will go over different rules for using white in arrangements. And finally, we will talk about the appropriate color combinations to use during fall, spring, winter, and summer. I'm well aware that you guys all know how to put flowers into a vase. But my question is, are you really thinking about the overall design of the colors, or just sticking flowers in the vase to get the job done? The arrangements that we put out for sale are a reflection of our company. Our goal is to make sure that arrangements that goes out these doors are beautiful, because you never know who's gonna see it and how many people are going to see it and be like, oh, where'd you get that arrangement? That's beautiful. Oh, I got it at Sendix. And that makes people want to buy stuff from us. So to start with our first 4 color schemes, according to flowerarrangementadvisor.com, they say no matter if you are a florist or not, the first thing you would notice in an arrangement is its color. And this is so true. So the first color scheme is the primary complementary color scheme. Complementary colors are pairs of colors that are opposite hue and the same color model. So we have our primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. As you can see, red is the complement of green, yellow is the complement of purple, and orange is the complement of blue. So you want to use this as a guide when you're making a flower arrangement. If you want something super bright and beautiful, you could use all these. It would look like a nice, like, rainbowy, bright arrangement. But if you're not going to use all the colors, you want to pick colors that are opposite of each other so they complement each other. So that's the first one. The next one we're going to talk about is using jewel tones. And jewel tones are deep, rich tones such as sapphire blue, ruby red, and a deep purple. Here's an example of an arrangement with jewel tone colors. To think about jewel tone colors, you can also think about like the color of different birthstones for different months. Jewel tones arrangements are very elegant and sophisticated looking, so this would be a great choice to put in the cooler for sale. Then we have the pastel color scheme, and I want to emphasize that this should be your last choice in color scheme unless it's like Easter or a customer specifically wants it. And if you're going to use pastel colors, it's important to note never to put pastel colors with bright colors because it just dulls each other out. And the last we have is the monochromatic color scheme. And according to flowerlifetips.com, they say if you're working with monochromatic color scheme, you're dealing with a variety of hues of one different color. For example, you might mix deep purples along with paler purples and lavenders. The arrangement consists of different tints, tones, and shades of only one color. So here's an example. These are different shades of green, different shades of pinkish red, and different shades of blue. So if you're going to do a monochromatic arrangement, choose one color that has a variety of tones and you can just stick them all together and it looks really beautiful. So these are the 4 basic color schemes you guys should consider before sticking flowers into a vase. Now we're going to move on and talk about how to properly incorporate the color white in arrangements. According to HGTV, they say white flowers should be used carefully in arrangements because white can dominate some colors and dull others. Here's an example. We have a bunch of bright, pretty color flowers. This would be your primary complementary color scheme. And just see what happens when white is added to it. It completely dulls the colors out, and it's not really attractive to the eye. It kind of looks unprofessional, and it looks like you just stuck flowers into a vase. White looks pretty in arrangements when it's by itself or along with one other color. So if you have white and pink, that looks great. White and yellow, white and red. White and any other color will be acceptable and will look very nice. So now that you know how to use white in arrangements, we'll move on and talk about how to appropriately choose color in arrangements depending on what time of the year it is. So spring is just about to peak, and people want flowers that are bright and cheerful. People are tired of winter and want to see a sign of spring, so putting together arrangements that are colorful will be very appropriate for this time of year. Bright colored flower arrangements should also be made in the summer because everything's blooming and everything's pretty outside. When fall begins, most people like to decorate their house with fall decor. People decorate with different shades of red, yellow, and orange, and maybe a hint of green. So we want to make things for our cooler that use those different color combinations. Because if we have a cooler full of bright colored arrangements, some people might not want to buy those because they don't match their decor of their house. So when fall passes, we have winter, and starting December 1st, we want to use the red, white, and green color scheme because everyone's in the Christmas spirit and people have holiday parties, get-togethers, and no one wants anything bright because they're in the Christmas spirit. So after Christmas, we say goodbye to the red, green, and white color scheme. And we can still use white a little bit with colors like silver and gold for the New Year's. But then after New Year's, your choice of color combination is almost free game for anything. People are getting sick of winter again and want something bright and pretty. Maybe you want something with pastel colors because spring's coming. So we want to think about what time of year it is too when we're putting together these arrangements. So my goal here today is to get you guys to open up your eyes and to think about the big picture before you arrange flowers. So by using the color schemes I've gone over with you, you'll be able to create beautiful arrangements that will look more appealing to our customers. Knowing when and when not to use the color white in arrangements will prevent you from making an arrangement that doesn't look good. And keeping in mind the seasons will allow you to make better judgment about your color choice. So I want to thank you all for listening to my presentation, and I really hope you guys put the information that I gave you today in good use in your floral arranging skills. Thank you.